Hi guys, how are you? I miss you all so much. And after getting some of your feedback today on your confusion with the imperfect and preterite, I thought it was time that I make a little video and help you to really figure out the differences between the preterite and the imperfect. So this would have been the PowerPoint I would have used in class today, and this would have been your do now, your haga na ahora. So you see you have 5 questions here, and you have to determine whether to use the preterite or the imperfect for each of them. Now, a sentence can start in the preterite, it can start in the imperfect, and it can easily change from tense to tense. So you're going to want to break down these sentences piece by piece using the acronym P-Waters that I've given you to help you determine if it goes under the imperfect or if it goes under the preterite tense. And then, of course, you have to conjugate correctly. Look at sentence number 1. Ustedes, then we have the verb enviar, un texto durante su clase de español y su profesora ver el móvil y estar enojada. So, very first part of that sentence, we're looking at an imperfect conjugation. The reason for that says you all were texting or sending a text during class. Clearly, you were still doing this when your teacher saw your phone, and then she was very angry. Sending a text message, NVR, will be done in the imperfect because that was an ongoing action that was ultimately interrupted by your teacher. So the conjugation would be enviaban. You were still texting when your teacher saw your phone once. She only saw it once. So su profesora vio el móvil. Y she was very angry. Being angry is an emotion. And if you go back to your acronym P-Waters, E stands for emotions. So when we're describing anything, whether it's an emotion or setting up a scene, weather, we're always going to use the imperfect tense. So estar becomes estaba. I hope that's clarifying that a little bit better for you. All right, try number 2 on your own, and I'm going to go over it. We have nosotros dormir y tú nos llamar. We were sleeping, and you called us. Okay, you should have gotten dormíamos for the first one. We were sleeping should be in the imperfect because that was an ongoing action that was clearly interrupted by your phone call. You called us once. A single one-time event would be the preterite tense. So the to form of llamar in the preterite tense should be llamaste. So you can clearly see there was an ongoing event that was ultimately interrupted by a phone call. Dormíamos and llamaste. Try the third one. Ramón comer con sus padres y yo le llamar por teléfono, pero no poder contestar. Ramon was eating with his parents, and I called him on the phone, but he was not able to answer. Try and conjugate those. All right, so the first one, comer, you should have comía. He was eating with his parents, and that was ongoing. That was interrupted by your phone call. I called him. I only called him once. So that's going to be a preterite tense conjugation. So llamar becomes llame. But he was unable to answer because he was eating is still a preterite tense conjugation. He didn't answer the one phone call once. So poder becomes, he was unable, so pudo. He was unable to answer. Look at number 4. Mi móvil estar en mi cuarto y yo estar en la cocina. Entonces, yo no lo oír cuando Rosa me enviar un texto. My phone was in my room and I was in the kitchen. So, I did not hear when Rosa sent me a text. See if you can conjugate these 4 conjugations. Okay, so the first one, you should have typed in estudiaba. My phone was in my room. That's description. It's setting up the scene. It's the S in P waters. You're setting. I was in the kitchen. Yo estaba en la cocina. Again, setting up description. So I did not hear when Rosa called me. I did not hear her call once or text once. So we're going to use preterite tense for this one because that's a single one-time event. OE. And she only sent me that message once. So Rosa envió un texto. So you can see the start of this one was in the imperfect tense, and then it finished up in the preterite tense. I started by telling you the background information, the setting, where I was and where my phone was, and then I ended by telling you that's the reason why I didn't hear her text message, all single events. All right, and the last one here, de niños, mis abuelos no tener teléfonos celulares, pero usar las guías telefónicas con frecuencia. As children, my grandparents did not have cell phones, but used phone books with frequency. Try that one. Okay, so you should have gotten tenían teléfonos celulares. They did not have cell phones for all of their childhood. This is for an extended period of time that does not show a start or end date to this. It was not a single event. But they used telephone books often. Using something with frequency clearly shows a repeated action, which requires the imperfect tense. So we're going to go with usaban. All right, so this would have been your do now, and I'm going to progress into your practice slide that we would have done in class. So I would have given you 8 examples here. All of these examples are examples that show a cuando or mientras. So when we have cuando or mientras here, we have mientras, and here we have cuando again, cuando, mientras. Those are words that are going to be your friend. As soon as you see mientras in a sentence, you know that both of the verbs are going to be imperfect. They're both ongoing events that are not interrupted. So let's take a look at the first one. Los estudiantes leer sus correos electrónicos mientras escuchar a la profesora. The students were reading their emails while listening to their teacher. There is no interruption. The teacher is talking. The students are reading. So your first conjugation is imperfect and should be leían. And your second would be escuchaban. 2 imperfect conjugations, both ongoing actions, and this word mientras is really your friend because it tells you exactly what you need to do. Same thing for number 2, except now we have cuando. Cuando tells you the first verb should be the imperfect, and the second verb should be the preterite tense, because there's going to be an interruption to an ongoing event. The first action was ongoing. Nosotros dormir. We were sleeping. That was an ongoing event for a long period of time. You should have dormíamos here. We were sleeping when Manuel nos llamar. When Manuel called us. He called us once and clearly interrupted our sleep. So we're going to have a preterite tense conjugation because there's an interruption. Interrupting actions are singular preterite tense. So nos llamó. He called us. Try number 3. Look for the word cuando. Number 3. Yo enviaba un mensaje de texto. I was sending a text message. I was in the process of doing it. It was an ongoing event. You can hear that by hearing sending, ing, a text message. When recibir una llamada. I received a phone call. Therefore, I received that phone call once and I didn't finish sending my text message because my phone started to ring. So I received it once, making it a singular preterite tense conjugation. Recibí. I received a phone call. Try number 4. Mi madre escribir un documento cuando yo llegar. My mom was writing a document when I arrived. She was in the middle of doing something when I arrived. She was doing an ongoing action, and I arrived once. You should have escribía un documento cuando yo llegué. Remember, that's a gar verb, and gar and dar verbs are irregular in the yo form. Number 5. Mis amigos navegar la red mientras bajar canciones nuevas. The word mientras is our friend. It's going to tell us that both verbs should be in the imperfect tense. It means while, and we have two actions going on at the exact same time with no interruption. My friends were navigating the internet while downloading new songs. Good. You should have navegaban la red mientras bajaban canciones nuevas. Both of those were happening at the same time with zero interruption to one another. Number 6. La maestra enseñar la clase. De repente, la computadora apagar. De repente is the same thing as when you see cuando. De repente means suddenly. The teacher was teaching the class, and suddenly the computer turned off. Now there's an interruption to her lesson as her computer has shut down. The ongoing event should be the imperfect, and the computer turning off should be the preterite tense because that only happens once. So you should have la maestra enseñaba la clase. De repente la computadora apagó. The computer shut down. Try number 7. Ustedes entrar en línea mientras hablar por teléfono. You all were going online while talking on the phone. So you're at your computer online while having a conversation on the phone. Neither of these two are interrupting, and you know that because the word mientras appears here in the middle of the sentence. So for the first conjugation, you should have entraban, and you should have hablaban after that. Both imperfect because of the word mientras. All right, finally, just to wrap up, we'll do one last one here. Yo escuchar a música mientras estudiar para mi examen. I was listening to music while studying for my test. The studying and the music were happening at the exact same time. No interruption. Yo escuchaba a música mientras estudiaba para mi examen. I really hope this does clarify some of the confusion for you, and if it does, please give me some feedback, and I will absolutely do this again for you as many times as you want. Just, keep practicing. I know this is a hard topic, and I wish I was there doing this with you, which I cannot be, so this is the second best option. Hope you guys have a great day.